Hello, Mr. Pocock speaking.
Hello, Jerry, I don't know if you remember me, it's Paul Seaton. I was talking to you months ago about the naval commandos.
Oh, yeah.
And you sent me a couple of photographs and stuff. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I just wondered if you've got a minute, if I could pick your brains about something. Can I do that? Is that okay? Have you got a minute?
Yeah.
It was about, I've been looking at my dad's records, yeah, naval records. You know my dad was Ray Seaton. He was a petty officer in N3.
That's right.
Well, I've got it on his naval records. It says he signed up his HMS Quebec from the 6th of September 1942, yeah?
42?
Yeah, and I'm beginning to wonder if he did something, if he was in some other naval commandos or some other section before NAN, because it's a long time between, September 42. Now, N was formed in February 43, yeah?
Did it have any, have any papers that he served on any ship?
Well, what I've got is, all I've got is pay records, yeah, that's all I can get. And it's got Pretoria Castle, which was a merchant cruiser he was on till the 30th of April 42, and then it's Pembroke, which is a shore base, yeah, till from the 7th of July 42, and the next thing is Quebec, 6th of September 42, yeah, which seems a long time before you guys headed off to Sicily. And I just wondered if he was like in Scotland all that time, from September 42 to the summer of 43, or if he was maybe...
Yeah, it would have been.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you got to Scotland, Jerry? Ish?
Let's see, yeah, I went up to Scotland the latter part of 42.
Okay. But as early as September, do you think?
No, I think I was after September 42.
Because, you know what I mean, there's September, October...
We went up to achnacarry.
No, but before...
For Christmas, I think it was.
Ah, so you were at achnacarry, you got there, you started the commando business about Christmas, yeah? Is that right? About Christmas, would have been very cold, I suppose, snowy.
Yeah.
But before that, I'm a bit confused about HMS Armadillo and all this stuff. But I mean, you presumably you did some training with sort of landing craft and whatever at Armadillo before the achnacarry stuff. Is that right, or did you get to Scotland and go straight to achnacarry? Do you remember?
I had. I think he was at Quebec, wasn't he, to start off with?
Well, that's what it says here on the records. I mean, Quebec Quebec was a bunch of huts on. I'm losing my memory about this. On the side of that lake up in Scotland, wasn't it?
I think he was at Quebec with the landing craft to start off with.
That's good. Yeah, that makes sense. So presumably before going to achnacarry, you would have done sort of landing craft training, and this sort of thing. Is that right or not?
He wasn't as long-serving man, was he?
Well, he'd been in the Navy since the Ganges in March 1937.
1937?
Yeah, because he was a boy. He went to the Arethusa because I think his my grandmother was stone broke, yeah? And he was about 14 and she couldn't support him because she'd lost her husband, my grandfather. And he went off to the Arethusa for a couple of years and then the Ganges in March 37. So, yeah, I mean, he'd been in the Navy by the time he got to, up to Scotland for 6 years. He'd been out in the Far East on the HMS Kent.
Oh, that's right.
And then through to the Mediterranean on the HMS Kent, and then it got torpedoed by an Italian aeroplane off a place called Bardia, which I'm sure you've heard of. And then all the crew of the Kent, they got the Kent back to England and paid them all off, and then he was on a converted passenger liner, the Pretoria Castle. It was a Castle line passenger ship, which they put a few guns on it, and it was down in South Africa and Freetown in Sierra Leone, do convoy escorts or something. And then after that got back to England, and then he was paid off. Well, Pembroke, 7th of July 42, which is the shore base, isn't it? Which is that Chatham? Pembroke. And then he was...
your voice is fading.
Is it? I'm sorry, Jerry. It's old age.
Right?
And then we've got Quebec from the 6th of September 42. But you say you were there, you were at the Quebec later than, you got to Quebec later than September 42.
After I finished with, what was it, Manchester? I was on the... When I finished sea going,
yeah,
my papers are all up and down. I don't understand them where I serve.
All right. Have you got your pay records? I had to get these. It was quite a palaver to get them. Obviously, I can't speak to my dad anymore. He's been dead a long time. So all I've got is his pay records, which just tells me the ship, his pay station, and it's got Pembroke, which is Chatham, I think, July 42, and then it's Quebec from the 6th of September 42, and then it becomes Copra from the 1st of September 43, till after the end of the war. But it just seemed a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
And is that, but Quebec, you see, 6th of September 42, so presumably, when his pay station becomes Quebec, then he heads up to Scotland, yeah?
Because we went up to, that's right. We went back, after a commando training, we went back to Armadillo again.
Did you?
And then we went over to, what's the name of the place?
She's the only one who likes that.
Okay. It's just across the other side of Loch Long from Armadillo.
It's not Coolport, is it?
Hey?
Coolport? There was a Coolport, or is that, no, I'm in the wrong place. No. So what you did, Joe, when you first got to Scotland, where did you go? It wasn't straight to Achnacarry. Can you remember?
Was that Achnacarry?
Well, you went straight to Achnacarry?
Oh no, I went to Armadillo first.
Okay, and then, but what specifically were you doing the first time you were at Armadillo? Can I ask you?
Oh, we'd done training there.
And what sort of training was that, Jerry?
Well, more or less the same type of work. They took us up to the end of Loch Long, and we was running up the beaches there.
Yeah, okay. And how long were you doing that for before you went up to Achnacarry? Any idea?
I'd have to sort my papers out and have a look.
Would that be possible for you? Can I beg you to do that?
Oh, I'll do it for you, all right.
Can you? I don't want you climbing up in the loft and breaking your neck or anything, but if you could do that, that would be great, because I'm trying to work out, it just seems like a long period of doing, just training. From September 42, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, and it was about June 43 when you set off for Sicily, and that's about 10 months. It just seems a long time,
Yeah, but I was moving us about, I was.
Does that period of time sound about right to you? Just a long time of sort of buggering about all over the place. So you were at Armadillo, sort of landing craft, landing training, and then you go to Achnacarry.
And we went up to Achnacarry, yeah.
And that's, how long would you spend at Achnacarry-ish? Is it 3 months or something?
Oh, no, we was up there 6 weeks.
6 weeks,
yeah,
okay.
2 months.
Okay, 2 months at Achnacarry. That's 2 months accounted for. And then you say you went back to Armadillo.
That's right.
Yeah? And the second time you were at Armadillo, what was going on there the second time?
Well, it just kept us in training and full of exercises and all that.
Yeah.
And then they moved us, I can't think the name of the place. There's another naval, mainly landing craft people was there.
Yeah.
Waiting for transfers.
Yeah.
And we all went over there, and 1, 2 and 3.
There's a place called HMS Monk. Does that ring a bell?
Who?
Monk, HMS Monk, which was a shore base near Glasgow, I think, on the, is it the Clyde?
It's on the Clyde.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, you're at Armadillo, then you're at Achnacarry for a couple of months, then you're back at Armadillo. Now, at some point, Jerry, you must have started training with the troops that you eventually went to Sicily with.
No, we went on training because they run us up on the beaches. Oh no, it's near Ayr.
Ayr?
Over towards Ayr, yeah.
Ayr?
And they had a beach there,
Yeah.
also run up,
Yeah.
exactly the same as in Sicily.
I see.
It had a sandbar.
Yeah. Which caused some problems in Sicily, didn't it? I said there was a big sandbar off, I don't know if it was your beach or my dad's beach.
Yeah, it's on our beach.
Roger, I don't know which, Roger, it was Bark West, the sector in Sicily. You guys were all in Bark West, I think. And there was, it was Roger sector, I think. And there was Roger Red, Roger Amber and Roger Green. Is that right? Does that ring a bell with you? No. Does that ring a bell? Because one of those beaches had a big sandbar on it.
That's right.
In Bark West.
It's on the left-hand side going in.
Okay. And this caused a lot of problems.
There was a point coming out. There was a battery on it.
Yeah.
And then the 3 went to the right of that, and we went to the left of it.
Okay, good. This is good. And I know that, I think Roger, hang on, the guys any Commando, your lot, who were doing Bark West, we eventually had to do Bark West and Bark South or something, because the two of them, they moved, I've been reading about it in the damn history of the thing, and the beaches were a bit awkward, and the Nan started doing Bark, what was it, Bark West, and then they did Bark South as well as Bark West, or something like that, until they got spread out over more kind of area there. Does that ring a bell, no?
I'll get my papers out and have a look. I'll be able to pronounce it better than for you.
What records have you got, Jerry? Have you got, because I understand from, Ken Barry?
Yeah.
He told me that, when you guys retired, you got a big, like a presentation book thing, with all your service in it. Did you get something like that, or what have you got?
That's right.
Because obviously my dad got the same thing, but I don't know what happened to it, whether his brother got it or what happened to it, I don't know. But I don't have it.
Yeah, I've still got mine tucked away up there.
And would that would tell you all these details of exactly when you were doing what?
That's right.
Jerry, if you can get hold of that, and if I could have a chat to you while you were looking at it, that would be that would be wonderful. But it doesn't seem strange to you then that my dad signs up. It's HMS Quebec from September 42. So he's got September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. It's about 10 months in between.
We was on a big Polish liner for a while, and that's where we was doing the landings and all that into Ayr, on the Ayr beaches.
Was it the Canadians that you were? Was it the
first Canadian?
First Canadian. So does that mean that all of Nan were all landing Canadian troops in Sicily, or was some of you were landing was it the 51st Highland Division? You were the Canadians.
Prince Edward's Canadians, yeah.
Okay, and you can't remember which were you Roger Red or Roger Green or Roger Amber? Can you remember in Sicily?
No, I can't remember that. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You don't have to apologise to me.
I'll look it up though.
If I give you some time, Jerry, to do that, and then give you a call back, would that be okay? Because
certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I think I sent you a note back saying thanks for sending. There was a photograph of you as a young bloke, and one from Alexandria. Yeah, with a couple of blokes there. So thanks for that. And if I give you a week or something, Jerry, to dig that out. Would that be okay if I give you a ring back?
Yeah, certainly.
Excellent, because it's only through talking to you guys that I can piece this together. But I found a lot of people actually from N Commando, but most of them were kind of after your time. After you went back to Alexandria, wasn't it, across North Africa? After that, because I'm trying to think if there's anybody.
Thomas.
I've spoken to him. Archie Thomas. Yeah, I've got his phone number if you want it. Do you want his phone number?
No, I've got his phone number.
I've got Ray Bromley, but I haven't spoken to Ray for a long time because he really wasn't well last time I spoke to him.
I used to meet up with him up the reunions.
Yeah. You remember Peter Lightfoot? Do you remember Peter?
Peter Lightfoot.
Peter Lightfoot. Have you got his number? He's still around.
Yeah, I've got his.
Bournemouth.
I keep on promising I'll go down and see him, but I haven't been down there yet.
Well, it's a nice part of the world. Southbourne, isn't it? But Pat O'Donnell, but he's got no memory really. Do you remember Pat O'Donnell? He was N3, I think. Who else have we got? And then I found an officer from N3, but he was after your time. He didn't start till just before Anzio. A fellow called Hugh Burley. Probably doesn't ring a bell. He wasn't there at the same time as you. And then there's another guy called Len Crickmar. He's a bit of a rough diamond. He was, but this again was after your time. And then of course there's Leda Kipling, who sent me some photographs. A photograph of Dad that I'd never seen before, which was strange.
I was on the RR Loch.
Say again, mate?
I was on the RR Loch. When it went down, and I've often been up to the Orkneys, and I took some photos and all that.
Yeah.
But
was that
what made me bring it up was, I got the photos here. Somebody put half a dozen photos through the door in a folder.
Yeah.
But I've never found out who it was. About 3 days ago, we've had no letter or nothing.
Yeah.
I keep on wondering who put them through.
Well, this is photographs of the Royal Oak and stuff, is it? Okay. What was the Royal Oak, Jerry? Was it an aircraft carrier?
No, battleship.
Was it? Oh, bloody hell. Shows how much I know.
And sunk in Scupper Flow, right in the...
Was that at the beginning of the war or something?
That's right.
Was that a U-boat got in, crept in? And, okay. I'm with you. And then after that, okay, so the Royal Oaks. What happens when... Okay, you're the crew of the Royal Oak, yeah? Now, your ship has just been sunk. Now, what do they do with you then? You just go to, you're sort of general service guys, then you sit around in... Do they send you on leave, or you just... What do they do with you when your ship's...
They said... We had some, when you're on a ship that got sunk, you always had survivors leave, 10 days survivors leave.
Yeah, okay.
We went down to Victory Barracks from the Orkneys on the train.
Yeah.
They kitted us out and then they sent us home on leave. And they said we'd get 6 weeks in barracks.
Yeah. And the barracks were where?
Barracks.
Which is in the Orkneys, was it?
Portsmouth.
Oh, Portsmouth, okay. Yeah. So you get, what did you say, 10 days survivors leave, was it?
That's right.
And then 6 weeks just in barracks.
They said we'd get 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But when we arrived back, the following day they had us out on the playground.
Yeah.
And they had us down for HMS Manchester straight away.
And
because when we kicked up and said we'd get 6 weeks, they said you either go on to Manchester or you go home. Because we was under 18 then.
Yeah. So you were young.
Yeah, they said you'll have to wait to be called up.
Yeah.
So we all went on to Manchester.
What happened to the Manchester then, Jerry?
They got some... Well, scuttled it, didn't they?
I don't know. What kind of ship was that? A destroyer or...
Cruiser.
It was a cruiser, yeah.
Oh, she was a fine cruiser.
Yeah.
That class, city class cruiser.
Yeah.
That was a good fighting ship, that was.
Is that like the Exeter was another one, was it?
That's right.
I'm trying to think, there were county class cruisers, weren't there? There was the Belfast, was that the same class as
the Belfast? That was a city class cruiser.
Because that's sitting in London, isn't it?
Manchester was the same as her.
So what did you do on the Manchester then, Joe? Now you're on the Manchester.
We was up north Denmark Straits, over to Norway. We took the troops over to Norway, we brought them back. And then we stood around waiting to see if anything was happening after Dunkirk, but they never come round.
No, but then the Bismarck got out, didn't it, at some point?
And then they put us on the mortar runs and with the convoys.
Which wasn't very nice, was it?
Plenty of action.
Yeah.
And then she caught a fish, a tin fish off of Cape Bond.
Oh, that's where Sicily is, just across the way from Tunisia.
And the old skipper, it was going down like, you know, I was pumping the water out, but some of them said we'd have got down to Malta or Alex.
Yeah.
But he scuttled it, so we all stood a good chance.
So, yeah.
He lost one fella on there.
Yeah.
But then it was all picked up on a couple of Hyderabad class.
Yeah.
And the remainder swam ashore, took ashore.
Yeah. So you were sunk twice, basically. You were sunk on the Royal Oak. You were on the Royal Oak. What was it? It was torpedoes, presumably. You sunk the Royal Oak, which was a bloody big ship. Then, if it was a battleship, that was an enormous.
I think your dad was a bit older than me to join up in 47.
Well, he was born in 1921.
Hey?
He was born in 1921.
Yeah, I thought he was older than me. You were older than me.
Yeah, okay. And then he went to the Ganges, and then they sent him out to the Kent in the Far East. But we've been through that. So, yeah, I mean, you remember, presumably, my dad. I've spoken to quite a few people who remember him, but not for anything in particular, just for sort of being around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you told me once that he was there. You remember getting to, I don't know if it was achnacarry or Armadillo, when you got to Armadillo.
Yeah,
he was there.
Armadillo, where we met up.
Yeah.
And we went through for PO together, man.
Yeah. Because, let me see, we've got Quebec. Yeah, he was acting leading seaman when he got to Quebec. When he signed up for Quebec, acting leading seaman, TY. It's temporary, I think, on the records it says.
Right.
And then from December 42, it says acting petty officer, temporary, TY. I think TY means temporary. So that fits with what you're saying. If you got there in December to Armadillo, were you put up to petty officer as soon as you got there? Well, but did you get that promotion as soon as you got there, Jerry? Almost.
Yeah. Well, when it's in Armadillo, we weren't there long, and they put the two of us through for PO.
Okay, now this is good.
And they made us up near enough straight away at Acton PO.
So that you got to, the first time you were at Armadillo, you got to Armadillo, you were there for a few weeks, and the two of you got promoted up to petty officer.
That's right.
And according to my dad's records, that happened to him in the 9th of December, 42. Now, he'd been, signed up for combined operations, HMS Quebec, from September. So we've got September, October, November, December. Well, September, October, November, about 3 months. So he'd already been signed up, HMS Quebec for 3 months by the time he got promoted. Yeah? That's the 3 months that I'm trying to work out what the hell he was doing in those 3 months.
Well, it was all classes, Quebec.
Yeah.
Because that's where they held their papers there.
Yeah.
But I'd never actually went to do Quebec. I went to Armadillo.
Yeah, I mean, I think, your pay station, as I understand it, it's a bit hard to understand, but your pay station would be Quebec, but you'd be based at Armadillo. That's as far as I understand it. But what you're saying to me, Jerry, is that you got to Armadillo about Christmas 1942, yeah? And
before that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? But if you're saying you got promoted the same time as my dad did.
That's right.
Which is December 42. End of about the first week of December 42, he got.
We was there for a while before the PO's exam.
How long, Jerry? I'm sorry to drive you mad with all these questions.
I should say October. I'll get my papers. I'll tell you that.
Okay, well, in that case, Jerry, I'll leave you in peace for the moment.
Right.
And if I'll give you a week to look at the records, yeah, and then get back to you, if that's okay.
That's right.
Yeah?
That's fair enough.
Yeah? That'd be brilliant. I appreciate that very much if you're prepared to do that. All right, mate. How's your wife's leg anyway? She had a bad leg. Is it?
Yeah, I'm all right now.
Ah, you're all right.
I've just had a toothache today.
Is that the only one you've lost? Or you
I'm going to take a few more.
Well, listen, my dad lost all his teeth by about 1958. So, my dad, he lost all his teeth by about 1958. I remember he had a lovely set of false teeth. It was like two different blokes. There was Dad with his false teeth in, and Dad with his false teeth out. It's two different people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
I'll be glad to get mine out.
Well, the false ones, yeah, they're a lot less trouble.
Yeah.
They're a lot less trouble, mate.
Wow, the way they drills them and all that, like, it's just...
Well, don't tell me. I've got to see the dentist tomorrow. I'm going to be drilled tomorrow, so don't talk about it. All right, Jerry, I'll let you go. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
I'll give you a ring in a week. Yeah?
You are then.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers.
All right, mate. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.